Now, there's a very troubling story on News24. The author is Kyle Cowan. And I'll just read you the first paragraph and then we'll get into it with Kyle because the details are important and we need some time for that. Millions of Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine doses expected to arrive in the country from April may be delayed by weeks because of a failure by the government to timeously meet a key contract clause in its agreement with the US-based drug manufacturer. The clause calls for the government, the story continues, to set up a no-fault compensation mechanism to cover damage claims arising from unlikely but potential adverse effects in people who get the jabs. But the system is yet to be set up. And the story, to conclude that sentence, this is the concerning bit, I think. And News24 has learned that the government was aware since at least early February that it would have to be put in place. So that, by way of a scene set, Kyle Cowan, investigative journalist at News24, welcome and thanks so much for your time. This is alarming. Do you have any clue as to why this is happening?
Well, as you know, John, as we try to set out in the story, there's multiple reasons for this, and obviously we're still trying to get behind all the details and all the sort of minutiae of what is exactly going on. Because the biggest problem we have is that our government is not being transparent about these discussions, partly because it's a decision made not to talk about these things, and also partly because these drug manufacturing companies have forced them to sign non-disclosure agreements, so they cannot reveal details. So it's been extremely difficult to understand every little piece of this. But at the bottom end of it, we must understand this is quite an onerous clause in this agreement. It's something that government is really going to have to work on. And some of the experts I've spoken to say, an interim solution is not that difficult. They can set up someone in an office with a telephone and an email address. And others are saying, look, this has to eventually go through Parliament and it can take up to 10 months.
News.
Experts.
Analysis.
Where things stand.
What you need to know. Drive home with John Perlman
On 702.